Hey guys, I'm Josh from Layzee Acres. Thank you for tuning in. We're saving the world one trailer at a time. Today we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to do an installation of a Center-Line TS. It's a really popular hitch that we sell here at Layzee Acres. Probably half probably more than that, probably 80% of the weight distribution hitches we sell are the Center-Line TS. So I thought I'd do a quick demonstration how to install one. It may be a little tedious, but just follow along and we will do the best we can. So first off, I thought I'd introduce the tools I'm going to use today. We have a tape measure, a large adjustable wrench, a ratchet with an extension and a 3/4 inch socket on it, and then a larger ratchet with an inch and an 1/16 socket on it to actually tighten down the hitch head to the shank. Okay, these hitches, they come in a box that looks something like this, okay, with instructions all wrapped up in here. But I just pulled out the components here so we can see them. We have our weight distribution bars, we have our brackets that are going to bolt onto the trailer, we have our hitch shank, we have our hitch head, and we have our application bar. Along with these pieces, we have bolts and stuff like that to fasten them onto the trailer and the truck, but we'll go through those on a step-by-step basis. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to install these two brackets here on the trailer themselves, and they go 30 inches from the center of the ball to the center of the bracket. That's in your instruction manual. You don't have to remember that measurement, but they go 30 inches from the center of the ball to the center of the bracket itself. We'll come back when I've got those bolted on. Alright guys, started snowing on us here today, but I thought we'd just push through and do the rest of this here. We have our brackets ready to go on here. What I meant when I said these go 30 inches from the center of the ball is I take a tape measure, I put the tape measure in the middle of the ball there and measure center of the bracket to center of the ball. Okay, and we're at 30 inches. Then what I do is I put these brackets on and tighten up these bolts in the back here. I always start with the top bolt just because that's where I want to line up with, and just tighten these down. So I know the top of the bracket's at 30 inches. Then I can just knock this over, straighten out the bracket till it's straight like so, and then tighten up the bottom bolt on the back here. The back side of these bolts has a square edge on there, so the bolt itself is not turning, just the nut. From there, the most important part of setting up a hitch is getting the height of the ball correct. So you want to set the ball an inch, thereabouts, half an inch to an inch higher than the trailer sitting at level. The way I can do that is I can get on a really level piece of ground, okay, and level the trailer and measure from the top of the ball to the ground, or you can use the trick of measuring in between the wheels. So I can tell that the ball is sitting an inch below the top of the frame. I basically, the top of the ball is on the top of this frame, and then the top of the frame is an inch above here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to come in between the wheels. I'm going to measure to the top of the frame. And it's 24 inches right here to the top of the frame where the top of the ball is. So I take 24 inches and I add an inch of that just to allow the truck to squat a little bit, and that's the height I'm going to install the ball at. So yeah, I'm just going to double check the measurement. Yep, 24 inches. So I'm going to set the top of the ball to 25 inches. Come with me back to the truck and we'll do that. First thing we do is we take our shank, slide that into the receiver. Okay, there's a pin that goes in there. Okay. I give that a little yank, make sure I actually got it through the hole, not in front of the shank. Then I'm going to take my hitch head right here and put it on the shank, and then I'm going to have to measure for the height. So I'm pretty sure we're going to be pretty well to the top of this shank, so we'll see here. right. Okay. So the top of my ball is right around 25 inches. So if it's like 24 and a quarter or 25 and a quarter, you know, you just gotta be within an inch or so of the measurement that you want to set it at. So from there, there's this little spacer, okay? And this spacer adjusts the tilt on the head. The more tilt you have on the hitch head, the more weight you're going to transfer, okay? So you see what I'm saying here in a second. So they give you 4 washers. Usually, it's 3 washers that you actually use. So I stick this spacer in through here. I have to take the bolt out, that's right. This always happens. Slide that in. Slide the bolt back into the hole you had it before. Alright. Then there's a secondary bolt. Now the top hole has elongated holes on it, so that's the hole that you use these big washers on. So I put the washer on the bolt, slide it through. Where did it go? Okay. I'm going to grab my adjustable. There's a bolt underneath here that gets tightened first. That just holds the hitch head up into place. That bolt down there. And now once I have my hitch head tilt checked and my bolts in place, I'm going to recheck the measurement here. And we're just, yeah, we're right at 25 and a quarter. So I'm going to tighten that down using my larger ratchet and my big adjustable. I'm going to tighten these bolts down and we'll come back. Alright guys, we tightened down these bolts right through here I was telling you about. I started with this nut right here, and then I tightened down these 2 nuts individually with my 1/16 socket and my big adjustable. Now I'm going to back the truck up underneath this coupler. So come back please, go a little bit that way, stop. Keep coming back about 1 foot. Stop. I usually like to have the ball a little bit further forward in the coupler. Shut the truck off. Great, so there's no weight on the truck at this point. I've just lowered the coupler onto the ball, locked it in place. I'm going to take measurements now. I'm going to measure, back up cameraman. I'm going to measure from the wheel well to the ground. I got 39 and a quarter inches on this truck, right? It's going to be different on your truck. 39 and a quarter. And then 37. So that's where the truck sits without any weight on it. We're gonna come back. All right guys, sorry for taking a break there. The snow flying in my face was getting annoying. So we took a break, a little brighter, nicer now. To recap, what I've done is I've installed these at 30 inches from the center of the ball. I've found out the ball height should be at 24 inches when the trailer's level. So I've taken 24 inches, I've added an inch for that just to allow the truck to squat a little bit. I've tightened down this knob right here, this bolt right here, these 2 bolts, and I've put 3 washers in the spacer here. It may be that I have to come back to this and create more tilt or less tilt, but we're going to see that shortly. And what I've done is I've put the coupler onto the ball without any weight, just put the cup under the ball, locked it in place, and measured the truck down. The rear fender was at 39¼ inches. The front fender was at 37 inches. From there, what I do is I pull out the pin on the weight distribution hitch head here. Okay. Grab my bar. Put the pin back in. Okay. And clasp it on the other side. I always pull out on this bar to make sure I haven't just put the pin in front of the bar itself. All right. So you can see we have to get this bar on top of this bracket. To do so, what I do is I'm going to lift the truck and trailer together. That the higher I go, the less pressure is going to be on this bar. All right. I usually go about 3 or 4 inches up. This is why it's handy to have a power front jack, especially when you're using a weight distribution system. So I'm going to push extend. All right, I'm lifting the back of the truck up and the front of the trailer. You're noticing this bar is getting closer and closer to these brackets. Okay, so we're gonna give that a try. I'm going to put the other bar in while I'm at it. By the way, the label should be facing up on this. Label on the bar, I mean, itself. Put this pin in. Okay. I'm going to hook underneath the bar. The hook of the bar itself goes in the square part on the bracket, and I just pop these on. Now, if I hadn't have taken the pressure off the bars using this front jack, this would be nearly impossible. You can see I just did it with one hand. It was not too difficult. They just pop on like so. I'm going to head back over to your side. Beautiful sun out today. Now that the snow's gone, same thing, okay? I have this set up right now so that the there's 2.5 holes showing above the bracket here, okay? This may need to be adjusted up or down. We're gonna find out when we take some measurements. Okay. From there, I'm going to retract the jack, putting the weight all in the truck. You know any jokes, cameraman? I don't either. Bring the weight down. Okay, so the weight is off the jack. You can see the jack itself is loose. I'm now going to measure from the fender to the ground again. So it is at 38 and 5/8, 38 and a half, let's say. Okay, so that means it's dropped 3/4 of an inch at the back here. And it's at 36 and 5/8, 36 and 3/4. So what that means is it's dropped 1/4 inch on the front here and 3/4 inches at the back. What you're aiming for is you want to drop half as much in the front as it does in the back. So let's say for round numbers, it drops 2 inches at the back. You then want to drop around 1 inch in the front. If it drops 3 inches in the back and it goes up in the front, that means you're not transferring enough weight. You want to drop half as much in the front as you do in the back. So let's go, that's set up perfectly right now. That's how you want it. 3/4 of an inch here, about 1/4 inch in the front, a little more than 1/4 inch in the front. So that's set up perfectly. But let's say I wasn't transferring enough weight. Let's say it dropped 3 inches here and went up an inch there. What you do to adjust that is you'd come back here, you'd remove the bars, okay, and pick up this part of the bracket right here up a hole. The higher this bracket goes up, the more weight you're going to transfer. You see how that works? The higher this goes up, the more pressure's on the bars, the more weight you're going to transfer. Now, you would only go up 2 holes. If that is not enough, you'd go back to 2.5 holes here, and you're going to adjust the tilt on the hitch head. So remember how I have 3 washers here, okay? That's what it almost always ends up being. But if I don't have enough tilt, if I'm not transferring enough weight, I would add a 4th washer in through here. What that does, shifts the hitch head back, bars further down, and transfer more weight. So your first adjustment is adjusting this up or down. You know, if you're not just transferring enough weight, you're going to lift this up a hole, lift it up another hole. If you're transferring too much weight, let's say it drops 2 inches in the front and 1 inch in the back, you want to bring these brackets down, right? Because you're transferring too much weight. Great. So we have this set up properly now. What I would then do is I would take these bars all off, okay? Tighten down these nuts through here. Make sure I have everything tight here again, and then I'm set and good to go. We'll come back here and do that. Okay, guys, so we're back. What I've done in the meantime is I've tightened down these 2 bolts in through here. Now that I know they're going to stay there, and I've retorqued all of my bolts up through here as well, just to be sure everything's really, really good and tight. So I've backed the truck back up underneath. I've locked the coupler. I'm going to pick up the trailer and truck again. Notice I've put a couple pieces of wood under there this time, just to let me get up even higher than I had before. The higher you go up, the more pressure you take out the bars, the easier it is to put it on. A lot of people have like a big 8x8 or something like that big in underneath here. So again, I'll keep going up until the bars are super, super easy to put on. Perfect. So, same thing as before. I hook underneath, put this right in there. Hold it with 2 hands. I know I did it first with 1 hand. That's not a good example. 2 hands. This is not heavy though. I'm not struggling here. I'm just trying to keep this thing straight. Pops on. Then I'm going to take my little clasp here. That's going to go over top. I'm going to pop my pin through at the bottom. Okay. There's no way these bars can come off when they're like this, but there's just an extra little piece of safety there. Great. Now I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. Excuse me, cameraman. Okay. Again, 2 hands. Again, not heavy, right? Just pop it on. Like so. This goes through, pin goes in. From there, I just retract the jack. Until all the weight is sitting on the truck. Jack's loose, I'm good to go. While we're here though, we may as well show you how to take the bars off, because that's half the job. So, same kind of thing. I've backed it onto my sight. I'm going to put a couple pieces of wood underneath this jack, and then I'm going to pick up the truck and trailer again. Again, the higher I go up, the less pressure's on the bars, the easier this is. So I'm going to push extend, or crank it. And I just go up what looks to me about 4 or 5 inches. If it feels like the bars are too hard to take off, just go up even higher. There's actually a point that you can take these bars off without using the arm itself. You can just pull them off by hand. I'll come to your side so you can see what I'm doing. So to take the bars off, I face the truck. I don't face the trailer. I face the truck. I take this pin out, this clasp, put the pin somewhere you're not going to lose it, and then this part of the axe handle, or whatever you want to call this thing, is going to fit right over top. And now I'm just going to pry the bar off like that. Again, not heavy. Right, that's not hard. Just one hand, and I hold the bar here with my other hand. Okay, really easy. Walk around the other side of the truck with me, and you'll see me take off the other side. Flip that over. Same kind of thing. I'm facing the truck, not facing the trailer. Just gonna pry this off like so. Okay. Now I'm gonna put the weight back on the truck by pushing retract. When the weight goes back onto the truck, I can basically unhook or unlock this coupler here. Okay. Now I'm going to push extend, take the coupler off the ball. And once that coupler is released, I can drive ahead and pull off my bars and my hitch and all that. Great, guys. I hope you liked that video. I know it was tedious going through the installation. I'm going to do another video coming right up of just how to put on and off the hitch. So like a quick kind of reference guide so you can put this hitch on nice and easy, guys. If you like that video, push the like button. If you want to subscribe, please do so. Our email is sales@layzeeacres.com, or our phone number is 705-833-2539. Thanks, guys. Have a good day.